Okay, all right, here we go. So today we are going to talk about standard form day two. So there are three things I would like to accomplish. All right, three things. So one is let's fill out that graphic organizer, okay, to help you kind of keep check of all the different information. The second thing is I want to show you a couple of word problems with standard form that's very unique to standard form. And thirdly, I want to look at four regions questions on this with you guys. Okay, hopefully we can accomplish that. So let's go. Okay, all right. So I hope the sound is a little bit better because I keep having to turn the mic up over and over. Okay, now, so here we have a graphic organizer which you can find in your Google Classroom. Okay, so I want to talk about this, all right, and take a few moments to talk about it. So one is on the top. I would like you to write down three forms of a linear function. All right, the first idea is the first form, the slope-intercept form, the point-slope form, and the standard form. If you want to press pause just to write that, do that right now because otherwise I'm just gonna keep going. Okay, so yeah, maybe you should press pause right now. Okay, all right, let's move on then. So here are the slope-intercept forms. So one is let's write down what the form should even look like. So let me use a thinner marker, right? The slope-intercept form is y equals to mx plus b, right? That's the first detail that you need to know. Second is what it provides you, okay? So it provides you with the m, which stands for slope, and the b, which stands for the y-intercept, okay? So this is the most common one, all right? So maybe you should add most popular. So let's put an asterisk, most popular, all right? Kind of like me. All right, now, point slope form, what do you need to know? There's no form, there is a formula, but we're not doing that in the 8th grade per se. So the point slope form, right, it's if I give you 1 point, so I'll give you an example. How about that? So given 1 point, actually there are two ways of doing this, okay? Number one way of doing this is I give you 2 points. No, hold on, sorry. I give one slope with 1 point. And then a second application of this is I give you 2 points. Give 2 points. I wish my handwriting's better here. Give 2 points. Or given 2 points, actually. That's better. Given 2 points, find equation. Okay? Which goes back to slope-intercept form, by the way. Right? And the third thing, I should be typing this. That's really what I should be doing. All right, standard form. Do you guys remember what the standard form is? Yep. AX plus BY equals C, right? And what are the two things you should remember? One is you can find X and Y intercepts for graphing. Okay, my handwriting has like gone off a cliff over here. All right, the second thing is you need to remember is to convert to slope intercept form. Okay, again, let me read all of this again because my handwriting is kind of a hindrance. So for slope intercept form, right, there's the formula y equals to mx plus b. M stands for slope, E stands for the y-intercept. This is by far the most popular form and the one that the TI-84 uses. All right, the second one, point slope form, right? Number one, right? What's the first thing? It gives one slope with 1 point. And the second thing is meaning if I give you a slope and 1 point, can you give me the equation? That's what I meant. Number two is the other thing they will ask you to do is if I give you 2 points, can you still find the equation? All right, so you can look back at your older notes for that. Lastly, the newest one is standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. And then what it asks you for is that it will ask you to find the x and y intercept for graphing, like I showed you yesterday. Yeah. And the second thing is it asks you to convert to slope intercept form sometimes. Okay, so again, if you need to finish copying, press pause right now, but otherwise we are going to move on. Okay, all right, next. That's optional. Okay, so now, yesterday we already practiced with slope with a standard form question, so I kind of want to move on a little bit. All right. If I didn't end up not giving you enough practice in class yesterday, hopefully I gave you enough practice in on Delta Math. Okay. So now I wanted to do these as a video lesson because if I were to present this to the class, I'm afraid that the graphics are going to be too small and everyone's not going to be able to see this. So I decided to do this because then you could at least make this full screen on YouTube. Okay, but with that said, I'll read the question and I'll see what I can highlight. Okay, all right. So number one, there are two questions here. Okay, Super Painters charges $1 per square foot plus an additional fee of $25 to paint a living room. If X represents the area of the walls of Francesca's living room in square feet, and Y represents the cost in dollars. So hold on, let me highlight this already. If X represents the area and Y represents the cost, right? See how I color coded that, right? In dollars, which graph best represents the cost of a living room? Now, when I first saw this, I was scratching my head for like a minute, right? Because I was like, wait, how am I supposed to do that? But then I thought to myself, and this is why I wrote a hint here, right? Hint. When you look at this question, don't directly think of this. Don't turn the question into a graph immediately. What you should be thinking is, hey, what does this look like as a word problem? Because you guys actually did that in the 7th grade as a two-step equation word problem, probably back in January and maybe February, right? Turn this into an equation, and then you can very quickly turn this into a graph. Okay, so that's what I want to use today for. So, okay, so by the way, so in a way, we're actually kind of done with standard form. All right, so I'm just showing you like a little bit of everything else that we have to kind of like, so we're just kind of cleaning up like the rest of the unit here. All right, so again, right? So don't think standard form. Think slope intercept, think point slope, and think standard. All right, because now we're entering the territory where anything goes. Okay, it could be any one of the three. Now, let's go back. So think two-step word problems, right? $1 per square foot and an additional fee of $25. So remember, right, if Y represents the cost and X represents square foot, right, or the area, square foot slash area. How would you write this as an equation and it tells you a story, right? So, okay, the cost has to be Y equals, right? So you see where this is going. Y equals something, right? Now, think about it. You have to pay the 25 bucks no matter what. So that's plus 25 at the end, right? And it's not a variable, meaning like you don't have to pay more because you're painting more area. The person is just gonna charge you $25 for having to do it one time. It's a one-time fee, so maybe he has to buy like paint and paintbrushes, things like that, right? And then he charges you $1 per square foot. $1 per square foot, right? Or Y equals X plus 25. So for every square foot plus the $25 one-time fee. So if you paint 2 square foot, right, it'll be 2 plus 25, 3 will be 3 plus 25, so on and so forth, right? Now, having said that, which one of these graphs, A, B, C, or D, matches this equation? So take a look at that, okay? And feel free to press pause. I'm going to press pause and just let you look, okay? All right, so press pause right now. Okay, I glanced at it for like 1 second and it became immediately obvious as to which the answer is. So let's eliminate the wrong answers first. Now, A, what do you think of A? Is A a good choice? No. Why? It's right here. You see this here? It started out at 0, started off at the origin. So that's not good because you know you have to pay 25 no matter what. So why would the total cost start out at 0, right? Not only that, examine this just as a y equals to mx plus b slope intercept form equation, right? It wouldn't be because that's not the y-intercept. The y-intercept's 25, so this is no good, okay? Now, what about b? That b makes absolutely no sense. It's in negative territory. You can't have negative area anyways. That's no good. D is no good, right? Why? The slope's negative. How is it possible? Like it gets cheaper the more the guy works, the cheaper, right? His labor is. That's not true. That really leaves us only with choice C, right? Where it's a positive slope. Not only that, it's a 1/1, right? Look, let me find the thinnest marker I got, right? 1/1 up, 1/1 up, right? It's a positive 1 slope, and it started off at 25. The y-intercept started off 25, so of course this is our answer. Okay, not too bad, right? Okay, let's try one more. So here, let's read together, okay? Here it says the gas tank in a car holds 16 gallons of gas to travel. Oh, this one's good. The car travels for 75 miles on 4 gallons of gas. If the gas tank is full at the beginning of the trip, which graph represents the rate of change? Okay, so here we go. Now, here's the hint, right? Eliminate the obvi wrong choices first. Okay, I just didn't want to keep writing, so I just wrote obvi. But I knew that you guys would understand what I meant. Eliminate the obvi wrong choices first, then think about the slope. Okay, now, I'm going to let you try this one on your own. All right? And let you really think about this one. So press pause right now, and then when you come back, we'll go over the question together. Okay? So press pause right now. Okay, this one took me a while. All right, and a while I probably mean like 3 minutes. All right, because I made a mistake, and I was trying to find a unit rate, right? Because I want to see how many gallons per mile it would be, and I switched the numbers accidentally, so it was 75/4. But then that makes no sense because what, like 18? If you drive the car 1 mile, it use 18 gallons of gas. That makes no sense, right? That would be like the worst car ever. So I did the opposite, okay? So I got 0.053 with the 3 repeating when I did full over 75, right? So 0.053 gallons per miles. And I knew that it has 16 gallons of gas. So I want to see how many of these, how many unit rates can go into 16 gallons of gas, so to speak, right? And I got 301. So now look back at the hint. Eliminate the obvious wrong choices first, right? And then think about the slope. Think about this. If you start with 16 gallons of gas, C and D are no good because you're not gonna have more, like what? So you're gonna drive more and you're gonna have more gas? That makes no sense, right? So C and D are no good. Now that leaves us with A and B, and that's a numeric thing at this point, right? Meaning I know that both slopes are negative, so I know that I am decreasing in the gallons of gas that I have in the tank. But the question just it's just which one is it? How fast, right? So here we got 301. Here this landed at 120. Am I right? So that's no good. That's not accurate. So that leaves us with B. Okay, so where if you start off with 16, so before you even drove, right? You started with 16 gallons of gas, and then slowly over time, right, you ended up with 300 miles, and then you have no gas left. Okay, so that's how that one would look. Now, let me see if there's anything I need to add. No, not really. Okay, all right. So, okay, I guess it's time for you to come back to class, and then we can do the 4 regions questions together. Okay, so come back right now. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
OMG, that was so good.